The day began like every other on-station cholera. The long silver halls hummed quietly with plasma power. The air smelled like something clean, but not fresh, like recycled water and old metal. Aliens from more than 100 species walked around doing their usual tasks. Some floated, some slithered, some had 6 legs. But no one expected anything strange until Jahuan arrived. He was the only human student at the Galactic Intercultural Academy, a big experiment started by Earth and the Galactic Union. No other humans were allowed, not yet. He was the first. The others called him a Deathworlder because Earth was known as a dangerous planet where even plants could kill. The other students were soft bodies, peaceful types, raised on quiet planets with safe forests and singing clouds. Jahuan was not like them. That morning, during the daily student assembly, he raised his hand and said with a smile, "Hey, what? If we do a bring your pet to school day?" Everyone froze. Even the station AI paused for a second. Professor Kellner, who had taught at the academy for 70 years, clicked his claws nervously. He was a thin insectoid with crystal eyes and green skin. He remembered the last time Jahuan used the word super chill. That day, a small explosion happened in the cafeteria, and 3 students needed therapy because Jahuan had yawned loudly near them. Kellner coughed and asked, "What ... is that exactly?" "It's a tradition," Jahuan said cheerfully. "Back on Earth, we bring our pets to class. It's fun. We all just hang out with our animals. Super chill." Kellner's antennas twitched, but after a long pause, and with some pressure from the diplomacy board, he said yes. He would regret that. 3 days later, the big common hall turned into a zoo. Students from many planets brought their pets. One tall blue alien had a floating bubble creature that sang when it got happy. A group of furry green twins brought to jumping mice that glowed like fireflies. One fire species brought a pet lizard that burped tiny flames when it was excited. The room smelled like fruit, fur, and feathers. Everyone was smiling. Then the doors opened. Jahuan walked in wearing his school jacket and carrying a bag. Behind him walked something on 4 legs. It was big waist high, covered in shiny black fur. Its eyes looked too smart. It moved like a shadow that could kill. Jahuan smiled. "Everyone, this is Gomi." The room went silent. Gomi stopped next to Jahuan and sat. His tongue came out, licking his teeth. His eyes scanned the room slowly, carefully. Professor Kellner rushed forward. "Yes, Mr. Jahuan," he whispered. "What is that?" Jahuan said, rubbing Gomi's head. "Well, part dog. Mostly wolf. Maybe a little mixed DNA from the Earth survival programs. But don't worry, he's trained. He doesn't bite, unless someone attacks." Kellner almost fainted. He looked up the word wolf in the galactic database. It said, Earth apex predator, known for group hunting, flesh tearing, and psychological manipulation of prey. Not recommended for peaceful environments. The other students backed away. One jellyfish being floated higher, away from Gomi's sharp teeth. A small green student from the mist world pulled her sparklefish tank close to her body. EUN-G. A water-based student with soft purple skin looked worried. He ... He is safe. "Totally," Jahuan said. "He's a good boy, aren't you, Gomi?" Gomi blinked slowly. Then he let out a deep growl, low and rumbling like thunder trapped in a box. One mucus-based alien panicked and rolled under a table. "He's just saying hello," Jahuan said. But even the walls seemed nervous then. Gomi stood. The room froze again. He sniffed the air, nose twitching. Jahuan was distracted, answering a question about Earth sticks and fetch. Gomi padded slowly across the room. His ears were up. His eyes locked onto something. It was Yunji's sparkle fish tank. She stepped back. "Doh," she whispered. Gomi leaned in close to the glass, his nose almost touching it. The fish inside darted around in panic. Gomi didn't move, just stared. Professor Kellner was shaking. "Jahuan, your animal is hunting, huh?" Jahuan turned. "Gomi, leave it." Gomi turned his head, ears tilted. Then, with a slow wag of his tail, He trotted back and sat down next to Jahuan. "He's just curious," Jahuan said. "Back home, dogs chase things, but they know when to stop. Earth animals are loyal. Earth animals are murder wrapped in fur," Kellner muttered. Kolmai yawned. Half the room screamed. Jahoyan handed Gomi a treat. Gomi caught it midair, chomping without breaking eye contact with a nearby alien student. For the rest of the day, the tension never went away. The other pets stayed close to their owners. No one wanted to get near Gomi. Even the station's emergency lights blinked nervously. And yet, nothing bad happened. Not yet. It all went wrong in exactly 5 seconds. The day had been tense, yes, but calm. The other students kept their distance from Gomi, Jaewan's black-furred pet. Professor Kellner kept a close eye on them. Gomi hadn't attacked anyone. He hadn't even barked. But still, the fear sat in the air like heavy fog. Then the rock lizard made a mistake. The lizard belonged to a student from the fire planet Gora. It was short, wide, and had glowing red scales. The creature was known to be territorial, meaning it hated sharing space with anyone else. When it spotted Gomi, it hissed and started walking toward him, tail dragging behind like a weapon. Jaquan was drinking a cold bottle of juice. He didn't see it. Gomi did. The rock lizard flicked its tail. A tiny spark shot out. That was enough. Gomi moved faster than anyone in the room could follow, in a flash. The wolf dog slammed into the lizard, knocking it to the ground. His paws pinned the creature's body. Gomi didn't bite, but he growled deep and sharp. Hiss. Teeth showed, his muscles teed, and then chaos. One of the singing slugs slipped out of its tank and oozed under a bench. A flying creature panicked and flapped its wings, knocking over 3 aquariums. A mucus alien exploded in a stress bubble and rolled across the floor like a jelly wheel. A small mist student cried and covered their glowing mice with their body. Sirens started. The station's AI voice echoed, "Warning. Cross-species incident. Habitat ring lockdown. 60 seconds. Jaehuan calmly stood and clapped once. Gomi down. Gomi let go of the rock lizard, stepped back, and sat, tail wagging. Everyone stared. The rock lizard rolled over and limped back to its owner, bit dusty and maybe slightly scared, but alive. Professor Kellner ran forward, eyes wide and arms shaking. "Jawan, do you understand what just happened?" Jawan blinked. Yeah, Gomi didn't bite him. That's good, right? You triggered a multi-species emergency. Pets escaped. Aquariums broke. Someone just exploded. Jawan raised his hands. But nobody died. That's growth. That evening, an emergency meeting was held by the council. Jawan had to sit in front of 5 glowing ambassadors and answer questions. Gomi sat beside him, calm and quiet. Ambassador No, a floating mollusk with 6 eyes, swirled gently in her nutrient tank. "Explain yourself, human. Why bring a predator to a peaceful place?" Jawan looked tired, but his voice was strong. "On Earth, pets aren't just decoration. Hey, they're family. They protect us. They grow up with us. Sometimes. They scare people, but they also save people. I didn't bring Gomi to cause fear. I brought him to show what love can do." "Love?" Ambassador asked. "Yeah, Earth animals don't survive just with claws and teeth. They survive because they care about their humans." Gomi was trained not to hurt anyone. He only acted when something attacked first. That's what loyalty looks like. Professor Kellner stood beside him, still shaking. "I must admit, the animal did follow orders perfectly." And, Jaehuan added, "He could have killed that lizard." "He didn't. That's the difference between wild and trained." There was silence. Then Ambassador No spoke again. "Is this normal behavior for Earth pets?" Jaehuan smiled. "Honestly, Gomi is mellow. You should see a cat." Some council members chuckled. Even Kellner almost laughed. After long talks, council made a decision. Earth pets would be allowed, but only after safety checks and species clearance. Bring your pet to school day would be reviewed again in 17 station cycles. Gomi was allowed to stay at the academy, but only under supervision. Kellner offered to help with the training. Weeks passed, the students slowly returned to normal. Pet days were over for now. But something strange happened one night. A flint hatchling, one of the small, jelly-based students, was found curled up next to Gomi during rest hours. Normally, this species was afraid of any shadow, but there it was, breathing slowly, pressed against the soft black fur of a creature built for survival. No trauma, no fear, just peace. The academy doctors checked the hatchling. Its neural levels had changed, more balance, less stress. The calm came from Gomi's presence, they said. His body gave off a steady rhythm, like the earth heartbeats they had studied in files. Professor Kellner added a note to the psychology database. Therapredator. Definition: terrifying earth creature that somehow makes you feel safe. The academy learned something new that year. Earth was still a mystery. Humans were still unpredictable. But maybe, just maybe, there was something beautiful about survival through love. Gomi yawned again. No one screamed this time.